What if everything you thought you knew about Michael Jackson, the undisputed king of pop, was just the tip of the iceberg? For decades, his name has been synonymous with groundbreaking music, dazzling performances, and unparalleled global superstardom. But behind the sequined gloves and the blinding spotlight lay a life steeped in shadows, whispered secrets, and controversies that continue to haunt his legacy even today. From a childhood scarred by unimaginable pain to a death shrouded in mystery, Michael Jackson's story is far more complex and, frankly, more heartbreaking than most realize. Are you ready to peel back the layers and uncover the hidden truths of a legend? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the untold story of Michael Jackson. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please comment what you want to suggest to me. That will be the motivation for me to make videos every day. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the topic. Michael Jackson, unraveling the king of pop's darkest secrets. The legend of Michael Jackson begins not in a glittering mansion, but in the smoky, industrial landscape of Gary, Indiana. In the 1950s, he was one of 9 children, born into a working-class black family struggling to make ends meet. While his parents, Joseph and Catherine Jackson, instilled a love for music, it was Joseph's relentless pursuit of fame for his children that cast a long, dark shadow over Michael's early years. This wasn't just strict discipline, it was outright abuse. Michael himself, in his autobiography, Moonwalk, chillingly recounts a childhood devoid of joy, where practice sessions were akin to torture. He described being physically assaulted with belts and anything his father could get his hands on, forced to train to the point of exhaustion. Imagine being hung upside down by one leg and beaten until your father tired. This wasn't just a tough upbringing. It was a deeply traumatic one that molded the man he would become. This brutal foundation, unfortunately, laid the groundwork for a lifetime of trust issues and a desperate search for the innocence he never experienced. The Jackson 5's meteoric rise in the 1960s and 70s was nothing short of phenomenal. From local Indiana gigs to headlining across the nation, their talent was undeniable. By 1970, Michael, even at just 12 years old, was already a sensation. Their move to California, financed by their burgeoning music careers, signaled a new era. But even as Jackson mania swept the globe, a different kind of storm was brewing. The group's relationship with Motown Records soured, and Michael began to carve his own path, ultimately leading to his groundbreaking solo career. The release of Thriller in 1982 wasn't just an album. It was a cultural phenomenon, selling over 100 million copies and solidifying his status as a singular force in music. This era, while filled with unprecedented success, also marked the beginning of his most profound struggles. It was a period of both incredible glory and escalating personal tragedy. Then came the baffling transformation that sparked endless debate: Michael Jackson's changing skin color. In the early 1980s, he was a proud icon for African Americans, a symbol of success and breaking racial barriers. But by the 1990s, his complexion had visibly lightened, leading to widespread accusations that he was attempting to erase his black identity. The media frenzy was relentless. Michael's explanation was consistent. He suffered from vitiligo, a chronic condition causing patches of skin to lose their pigment. Yet, the public, and particularly some within the black community, struggled to accept this. They saw it as a betrayal, a desperate attempt to conform to a predominantly white entertainment industry. This really hits home when you consider the historical context of racial discrimination in America. Would someone truly reject their roots for fame? A New York plastic surgeon even fueled the fire by claiming Michael had undergone extensive cosmetic surgery and used skin lightening creams. Rumors even swirled about him sleeping in an oxygen chamber to prevent aging. The absurdity of it all. But the truth, as often happens, was far more mundane and far more tragic. His dermatologist, Dr. Arnold Klein, later confirmed that Jackson indeed exhibited signs of vitiligo as early as 1983. He also suffered from lupus, another autoimmune disease that can affect the skin. This wasn't a choice. It was a cruel hand dealt by genetics. My own analysis suggests that the constant public scrutiny and misunderstanding of his medical conditions must have taken an immense psychological toll, forcing him to use makeup and skin lightening creams to even out his complexion, which only made him appear paler and fueled further speculation. In February 1993, Michael Jackson directly addressed the skin color issue during his landmark interview with Oprah Winfrey. "As I know it, there is no such thing as skin bleaching," he stated emphatically, confirming his vitiligo diagnosis and explaining his use of makeup to conceal the uneven pigmentation. He expressed his deep hurt over the fabricated stories, stating, "It's a problem for me. I cannot control it. But what about all the millions of people sitting in the sun, trying to get darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says anything about that." This interview, watched by 62 million Americans, brought much-needed clarity and empathy to his situation, sparking broader discussions about vitiligo, a condition previously little known. Jackson's commitment to racial equality wasn't just lip service. In a powerful letter written in 1988 to photographer William Pecky, he articulated his belief in universal equality. "I love all people on this planet. That's why racial stories truly bother me, because I believe all people have equal rights." He emphasized that discrimination stems from ignorance, reminding us that we come into this world naked, and that reminds me that I am the same. After his passing, tubes of Benoquin and hydroquinone, both skin lightening creams used to treat severe vitiligo, were found in his home, and his autopsy further confirmed the dramatic reduction of melanocytes in his skin, providing posthumous validation of his condition. The agonizing public battle over his skin color was finally put to rest, proving that his truth was far more painful than any sensationalized headline. It's a poignant reminder that we often judge what we don't understand, and in Michael's case, this judgment was relentless. But the universe, it seemed, wasn't done with Michael Jackson's trials. Even after his death, a far more sinister accusation lingered, casting a long shadow over his legacy: the allegations of child molestation. This painful chapter often begins and ends with Neverland Ranch, a fantastical estate he purchased in 1987 for $19 million. Imagine a private amusement park, a zoo, a movie theater, a veritable Peter Pan's Neverland come to life. Michael famously welcomed children to the ranch, often from charities, seeing it as a safe haven and a place of wonder. However, this idyllic image shattered when accusations of child abuse began to surface. A decade after his passing, the 4-hour documentary, Leaving Neverland, reignited the controversy. It featured the testimonies of Wade Robson and James Safechuck, two men who claimed Michael Jackson sexually abused them when they were children in the late 1980s. Their lawsuits had been dismissed earlier due to lack of evidence, but the documentary's graphic nature sent shockwaves. Safechuck described how Jackson would take him to luxury stores, using his small hands to size jewelry for women, only to then give him a diamond ring and conduct a mock wedding. Robson, too, claimed Jackson bought him expensive gadgets to facilitate their secret communications. The documentary also highlighted alleged hidden rooms at Neverland, including a private room with one-way glass in the movie theater and a concealed attic bedroom in the train house. Now, as a personal observation, the intensity of these allegations and the public's polarized reaction truly highlight the struggle to reconcile the beloved artist with the accused. It's a classic case of innocent until proven guilty versus the power of personal testimony. While the documentary brought these claims to the forefront, it also faced significant criticism for its lack of corroborating evidence and its one-sided narrative. The fight over Leaving Neverland's authenticity continues to this day, with fervent supporters on both sides. leaving the public grappling with who to believe. It's crucial to remember that Leaving Neverland wasn't the first time Michael Jackson faced these kinds of accusations. In 1993, 13-year-old Jordan Chandler and his father accused Jackson of sexual abuse. While a search of Jackson's home found legal but controversial photos of nude boys, the grand jury did not indict him. The Chandlers sought a large settlement, which Jackson initially resisted, countering with an extortion claim. Ultimately, a private settlement was reached outside of court, leading to widespread speculation and criticism, but legally, Michael was cleared due to insufficient evidence. Then, in 2003, another storm erupted following a documentary where Jackson admitted to holding hands and sleeping in the same bed with a young boy, Gavin Arvizo. This led to his arrest and charges of child sexual abuse. The trial, held in 2005, was a highly publicized spectacle. Michael vehemently denied all charges, maintaining that his sleepovers were innocent and non-sexual. After a 5-month trial, he was once again acquitted on all counts. What this series of events reveals is a complex legal landscape where accusations, public perception, and the burden of proof constantly clashed. My own take is that these repeated legal battles, regardless of the outcome, undoubtedly took a heavy toll on Michael's mental and physical health, contributing to his reliance on medication. As if the public battles weren't enough, Michael Jackson's life ended under tragic and controversial circumstances on June 25, 2009. His death at Neverland, ruled as acute propofol intoxication leading to respiratory failure, sent shockwaves across the globe. His personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, found him unresponsive, and after a 911 call, Jackson was pronounced dead at UCL, a Ronald Reagan Medical Center. Initial investigations ruled out murder, but the legal battle to determine responsibility for his sudden demise had just begun. Dr. Murray quickly became the prime suspect. He confessed to administering propofol, a powerful surgical anesthetic, to help Jackson sleep during his final 2 months. My analysis here is that Jackson's severe insomnia, likely exacerbated by years of stress and public scrutiny, pushed him to extreme measures for sleep. Murray's defense was that he was trying to wean Jackson off the drug, and even suggested Jackson self-administered a fatal dose. However, the prosecution called upon top experts, including Dr. Paul White, known as the father of propofol, and Dr. Stephen Schaefer, who wrote the drug's administration guidelines. They testified that, beyond propofol, Jackson also had 2 other sedatives, lorazepam and midazolam, in his system. This cocktail of powerful drugs, combined with Murray's admitted lack of proper monitoring equipment, painted a grim picture of negligence. The crucial evidence against Murray was his blatant disregard for medical protocols. He failed to monitor Jackson's vital signs after administering the propofol. And even more damning, he instructed security to hide all medications before calling 911, clearly attempting to conceal his actions. The court concluded that Murray's actions weren't merely medical malpractice, but criminal negligence. As the Los Angeles judge declared, it's important to distinguish crimes. Many people think this is a medical negligence case, but it's not. This is a criminal negligence case of manslaughter. Jackson's death was directly attributable to Murray's reckless behavior and disregard for human life. Conrad Murray was ultimately sentenced to 4 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter. However, in a twist that many found infuriating, he served only half his sentence, released early due to good behavior and prison overcrowding. This outcome, for many, felt like a slap on the wrist, failing to deliver true justice for the loss of a global icon. Michael Jackson's life, though filled with unparalleled artistic triumph, serves as a powerful and tragic lesson about the immense pressure of fame, the destructive nature of unchecked rumor, and the profound impact of childhood trauma. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about mental health, medical ethics, and the responsibility we, as a society, bear in shaping the narratives of public figures. His story is a poignant reminder that behind every superstar lies a complex human being, often battling demons unseen, and that true understanding requires empathy and a willingness to look beyond the headlines. When will Michael Jackson finally rest in peace? And when will the world truly reconcile with the full, complicated truth of the King of Pop? Only time, perhaps, will tell.